So in all of this, child labor, the intense child labor that is abusive, now exposes children to a lot of things. And as I mentioned about the perverts out there on the street, we have also young girls getting pregnant at an early age because they're out there on the street trying to fend for themselves. And then, of course, there's that imbalance that now sets in. If a child begins to fend for themselves and they're doing child labor, it means that they've taken back the power. Yeah. They're no longer answerable to any adult. And that also brings a breakdown in the society.
People tend to think that teenage pregnancy is something that happens on the street. It's happening in our homes. It's happening in our homes, to our cousins, to our younger sisters, to our wards, to our house helps.
Conversations about personal space for both for all young people, male and female. You must have conversations about what the personal space is. How close to you can someone get? You understand? We must have these conversations. We must educate our young people about what is right and what is wrong concerning their personal space, concerning their bodies. Yes. Now, as somebody said, it is not about how or what, it is about protecting yourself. You're not teaching a child about sex, you're teaching a child about how to protect themselves.
Yes,
so you must also
get it wrong because they feel I'm starting to talk about sex with my child at this early age. What am I can't deal with that? But like you said, it's about protecting your child. It's not about the sex education. It's about telling him how to she or he should protect himself.
But there should be a small window, no matter how tired you are, when your child wants to approach you or somebody that works in your household wants to approach you. There should be a little window. They should be able to read your body language, and you should be able to read your child's body language. You should be able to know when it is an emergency, when the child is afraid, when the child feels hurt. You should be able to read those signs, but they're not things you can pick on if you're not present all the time. You have to be present. And when I say present, it doesn't mean 2/4/7, but when you're spending quality time, there should be that capacity to relate, to bond, to interact. Yes. So when the red flag goes up, you can pick it immediately. If the child says, uncle did this, and uncle is there, and uncle is making the eye, you're going to ignore uncle and face your child and say, you know what? Tell me what uncle did. Yes. You understand what I'm saying? Those are the kind of bonds that we should build with our. So we also have to look at what they find on social media. When you have to keep control on that, so that you will know what information your children are getting from the internet and how they're handling such information. And also there's also some kind of pressure sometimes from peers, right?
Yeah.
Children that are out on the street hawking,
it's not safe. Yeah, they're even more exposed.
The dangers are just numerous. They're just numerous. And when we say teenage pregnancy, okay, young girls would get pregnant, young boys still get raped.
Yes.
And how do we deal with this? What are the things that we can do that will just help the society, understand that there are such terrible
things out there. Information, really, but my challenge is, where are they going to be getting the information from? Definitely not from the home setting. So, I mean, is it through outreaches? Is it through the NGOs? How do you get the children on the street to know that these kind of things are happening and that it's absolutely wrong?
We need to get our children off the street. We probably would have to step up the game and ask people, big corporations, what is their corporate social responsibility?
That's actually true.
What is the problem that is peculiar to your neighborhood, to your town, to your state? What about baby factories where deliberately people keep young girls to make them have babies that get sold? Now, it is a very broad spectrum of criminal behavior and criminal activity that involves very young people. And these are disadvantaged young people who are in child labor, who are working in homes, who just get exposed to a whole spectrum of crime, and they're just molested all the time. So, I mean, I think corporate social responsibility is part of it. In all of this, there are consequences. And some of the consequences are abortions gone wrong, and young girls that are psychologically damaged. And of course, we also have young boys that are psychologically damaged.
And I'd like to emphasize to the women that you really need to open your eyes and your ears when you're in your home. You never know what might be going on when you're not home, so you need to be sensitive to the environment and know exactly what's